All right. A little bit slow to set up today, so give me just a minute here. Get my gloves on. I should probably get my paintbrushes out too. I just sort of hit record on the stream before I was ready and it was already going, so I just sort of went with it. Today, I was in the art store because yesterday I was running out of all of my paint, so I was wanting to get some new paints going. And I saw they were selling Golden Open acrylics in a little kit, and the kit had the 3 primaries and plus some other colors that I'm probably not going to use. So I thought, hey, I'll try some slow drying acrylic. Sounds like fun. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing today, is essentially experimenting with Golden Open acrylics. I've heard good things about them, but I don't know. I'm gonna find out. Also got a little bit of a lighting change. The light is over there now. So we're gonna see how that works, because over here it was kind of blowing out the palette, I noticed. It was making it hard to see the colors I was mixing. And that's part of the intention with this channel I'm trying to start. I'm trying to show you everything, because when I was starting to paint, there's a couple of little things that I didn't understand, like really basic things, like what people were doing on the color mixing side and how people were washing brushes and what brushes they were using and all that stuff. So that's kind of the point of this, is hoping that I can help somebody out. Because painting is not as hard as some people would have you believe. Once you get the basics, you can do a lot. I move the mic a little closer to my face. All right. So I've got alizarin crimson, ultramarine blue, cadmium yellow, and titanium white. I wish that I had bought a brown. There's no brown that came with the set, and they weren't selling individual tubes. I really like to have burnt umber. So that way I've got 2 ways to darken a color. I can put blue or brown in it, and 2 ways to lighten a color with titanium white and yellow. That's the way I like to mix my colors. But you can also, brown is just mix all the primaries together, you get brown. So maybe I'll do some experimenting with that. I usually don't paint with brown, so it'll be an adventure. So let's bust them out. As far as what I'm actually going to be trying to paint, I've got this sort of seascape, and I might throw a little island in it or something. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. These Golden Opens come out really smooth from the tube. They're very, they've got a nice consistency to them. I also saw, while I was at the art store, some Princeton Catalyst brushes, which I've been looking at getting. Their poly tip. I don't know what that means, but it sounds fancy. And they were on sale, so I picked them up. Oh, my cadmium yellow is exploding. blew up on me. See if I can't save some of that. Heard good things about the Princeton catalysts, and I tend to like Princeton brushes just in general. It seems like they make pretty nice brushes. And honestly, I don't really have a preferred brush for acrylic paintings. I usually was, for a long time, I was using the same brushes I was using for my oil paintings. And I kind of stopped doing that because one day I let the acrylic dry a little bit too long and it wrecked some of my nice brushes. And, you know, I really just, I think with acrylic paints, to me, I don't really notice different brushes doing different things. It seems like, for the most part, I'm getting a lot of the texture that I want through other means. I'm not trying to make really crazy brush marks because a lot of times I'm just painting over stuff. So a lot of my texture comes from sort of dry brushing and that sort of thing. But anyway, I've talked enough. I'm going to start painting now. And I'm going to start by figuring out my composition. And I think my composition is going to be more sky, less water. Well, yeah, more sky, less water. So I'm thinking I'm going to split it right there. And so the thing with golden open acrylics is that they supposedly have a much longer drying time. So you can do a lot more blending with them. Just like not dry brush blending, just regular. You put the paint down and you could still move it around and mix colors on the canvas a little bit. So I'm trying to paint a sky because I tend to. I'm gonna focus more on the sky because it seems with acrylics I tend to focus more on dry brush blending techniques, and I especially have trouble making nice clouds. So I'm going to see if these colors sort of remedy that. And this looks really blown out to me on my second monitor over there. So I might have to pause and change some lights. But for now, this down here is going to be water. This up here is going to be sky. We're going to have some nice clouds, maybe. And I'm going to start with my dark colors, so let me get the yellow out of this brush real fast. Just using water. Also, I should also mention that the Golden Open acrylics come with some thinner. And I actually don't know what the thinner is supposed to do. I think it's supposed to increase the working time even more. So that's this Golden Open thinner. So this dilutes the paint to make them slow, you know, it slows the drying time even more. I mean, it says it's on there. It says use thinner to adjust and maintain the working properties of colors and reduce brush drag. So this might, I think this is meant to extend it, make it dry even slower. So I don't think I'm going to try that today, but it's just something to be aware of. It exists. And I have some of that for my Winsor Newton paints too. And I didn't really like it. I didn't really feel like it did much. But I can tell right now that this line that I drew, it's still wet. Like I can still push it around. So that's kind of interesting. I just messed up my brush, trying not to get blue in my or green in my sky. Anyway, I've been talking way too much today. Need to be doing some painting. Take some blue. And I'm gonna take a little bit of white. So a note about the palette that I'm using. This is the regular glass palette that I usually use, but I put a little bit of freezer paper over to it, on top of it, so I've just got some binder clips. And I do that because I don't like cleaning up acrylic off of my palette. It tends to stick on there really tightly and stay there, which is not what I want. So far, these definitely feel a lot. The consistency of these paints is really kind of nice. I'm liking them. They're very they have a nice flow to them. This blue is definitely very transparent. I'm going to try to put it on there kind of thick and see if I'm able to get some blending. I kind of don't love this where I can make it transparent. I feel like I need to like lay it on there. So that's one thing I'm noticing right off the bat. I think on this painting, I'm gonna try to go fast. I think that's what I'm gonna try to do. Definitely it mixes up. It mixes up really nice. I'm liking that. Sometimes with acrylics, it can be kind of hard to mix colors because they get sticky really fast. But these are not doing that, which is quite nice. Oh yeah, that's nice. I was able to alter that color right away. Okay, I'm liking that. Okay, now I need to get some more. Well, let me see. I think I'm just going to go straight into this. I'm going to put this down here. Add some water in there. Increase my flow a little bit. This is interesting. I'm just sort of like I'm trying to take in the new paint and get a feel for it. I've never painted. This is like a new medium for me. It feels very strange. Oh, it's making a lot of noise. Apologize for that. Wow, that's just blending right in there. That's fascinating. This painting might turn out really bad just because I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. I feel like I always say that. I'm always apologizing before I've even done anything. Alright, let's see. This has been drying for a while, so I want to see if I can mix. Still wet. Let's see how wet that is. It's really wet. It's interesting. That palette, I really hope you can't hear that. That's super annoying. Let me see if it pops up on the... Oh yeah, you can hear that. That stinks. Let me see if I can like pin it down better. That way it's not making obnoxious sounds the whole time. Pinned my glove to it. I'm trapped. Oh. Got a crisis. Alright, be quiet, palette. I wanted this to be more blue up here. Oh, that's a lot of blue. I don't know if I want it quite that much. It just blends right in. That's great. Okay, so I'm going to try and dry brush now. We're going to see what happens. So I'm just wiping a lot of the paint off of my brush. And I'm going to try and get some dry brushy stuff going on. Wow. Works great. I like this a lot. Wow, that's great. Actually have like a little bit of time to play before my color is all tacky. Trying to get some kind of interesting marks and stuff in there now while it's still wet, because I can do that. Trying to get this blended nice. All right, let's get some purpley guys going on. I come down, put the purple stuff down here. Okay, I'm gonna throw some of that up in there. It's amazing. Some of it in here. Okay. a little worried about that yellow. I mean, not worried about it. I can always fix it, but it's still wet. This painting, I might have to like do the whole painting wet. I was kind of expecting the drying time of the golden opens to be like a little longer, but it seems like it's like a lot longer, which that's great. It's just I was sort of expecting to be underwhelmed by it, and I'm really not. So I guess that's a good thing. Let me try. I'm actually, one thing I'm noticing is that this cadmium red is like kind of dull. I feel like I'm gonna have a really hard time mixing like pink colors. I mean, I always have a hard time mixing like pink colors, but it seems like as soon as I put white on it, it's just like this color is dead. So I also have some cadmium red too. That also came with the set that I bought. So I might try using some of that, see if it's a little stronger. Because that's like, that seems to be about the most intense pink I can make. Which is not real intense. Maybe I'll stick with it. I'll keep the colors in this painting real subtle. Except for like the crazy blue. That just blends right in. I'm gonna throw a little bit of this up here. It's crazy, it's still wet up there. It's kind of bad though, because like the I kind of have a rule when I do acrylic paintings not to paint on like sticky paint. So I either paint while it's still very wet or very dry and not in between. When it's sticky, that's when a lot of weird kind of bad looking things tend to happen. You end up like kind of scrubbing paint around, and so I'm feeling a little bit of that here, which is something worth noting, I think. All right. Now we're getting into some more orangey type colors. So I'm going to get the blue out of my brush so I can try to get these pretty intense. Because if my memory serves, blue and orange are rather opposite. Trying to get like kind of a peach color. Let's get some of that. It's good stuff right there. Get some of him in there. Just blends right. He just blends right on there. That's lovely. Like he was always there. Should have mixed more of that color. I think I'm going to need more. Clean off my brush and get some more of this color. I want more of that. It's good stuff there. Oh, I like that color too, though. I want to put that in there somewhere. It's a good color. Kind of trying to keep it sort of streaky down here and the reflection so I can do like some sort of broken color stuff. I think that'll be really cool. Broken color is just putting two sort of intense color. Well, they actually don't have to be intense. Just literally breaking the color up. You're not putting the color in blocks. You're putting it in like little streaks or little dots. It's prominent in sort of classic impressionist paintings. And it's kind of easy to do and adds a lot of interest to your paintings. At least I notice. I especially like doing it in the water because, you know, reflections are already sort of jarbled, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So adding some like streaky things and stuff don't hurt. Don't hurt. Okay. Talking the ears off of listeners today. Apologize for that. Some days I'm not real chatty. I had a couple of those days this week. Today I'm chatty. Okay, this was the color I was looking for earlier. Throwing some of that in there. Trying to keep it pretty loose here. I'm not trying to be too worried about anything really. Just painting a nice relaxing sky. Getting close. Time to close it all in up there. Which is a little worrying because I haven't done much down here. Need to do something down here. I'll figure it out later. I want to check how dry this is. It's still wet. It's madness. This is like a baby oil painting. Not baby, but I want to say like diet oil painting, but it's not. These are more expensive than my oil paints, so diet is not the right word. Trying to figure out what to do now. I'm thinking. I think I want more pink. I guess the other thing I was trying to test out were these Princeton brushes. I like them. I think this is a nice brush. This is a Princeton Catalyst brush. I'm a fan. I think they feel really nice. They're laying down the acrylic real smooth. What do I want to do now? Oh, I made a beautiful cloud and I killed him accidentally. Sorry, Mr. Cloud. It was an accident. Alright, I think I want some more purpley stuff going on. So I'm going to start with this pink. I'm going to just try to purple it up a little bit. I definitely purpled it. I blued it. Some white in there. Okay, that's kind of what I was looking for. I'm having trouble mixing real intense colors. Could just be the nature of the paints that I've picked. Colors seem to be not particularly intense. Gosh, it just blends right in there. I've done a lot of acrylic paintings, and this is like the weirdest. This is a weird experience. Trying to soften that a little bit. Scrub some of it off. All right, now I need to actually start making clouds now instead of just playing. Let me wash my brush. I'm gonna get into some more of the orange stuff now. Did it drip on my canvas? I don't know, I can't see. All right, I'm gonna start with yellow. There's some lemon yellow in there. That's not lemon yellow, it looks like lemon yellow. It's cadmium yellow primary. I want this color. I don't know that I want it right now. So I'm gonna leave that over there. And I'm gonna make a pinker one. Oh no. That's too much. I don't know. So far, I like highly recommend the Golden Open acrylics. I'm uh I'm thoroughly enjoying them. They're doing like exactly what I want them to do, which is quite nice. All right, here's one. It's a cloud. There's another one. All right, let me get some more of this pink. Let me clean my brush off. I don't like that. I made some green over there. I'm gonna hide that with some red. And I'll never know. All right. Now it's time to start closing some of that in. And I want some blue. And I want some like very light blue in there. That's maybe too light. Try and get some more blue in there. And I want to, actually I'm okay with this. I'm going to dull some of this, but I want like a little bit of that in there. I'm going to have to like blend some of that in because it's a little sticky up there. And I'm going to have to vary some of that up a little bit too. Try not to make green here. Trying to put some sky holes in them clouds to look a little more realistic. All right, let me get some more white in there. For very white. And I think I want it to be a little bit desaturated. So I'm going to throw some orange in there. Okay. Like more desaturated. White's going to desaturate it, and so is the adding some orange. Okay, that's looking closer to what I wanted. Might be a little too dark now, though. Yeah, I want it lighter. That's better. I like that. Scrubbing some of that in there. leaving some kind of paint ridges. I might come back in and try to fix those later when I feel like it. Definitely gonna have to vary that color up. Gonna have to put some stuff going on in there. It's an interesting sky though. I think it needs some blending. So we're gonna do some of that. Gonna blend some of that in there. I think I killed a lot of clouds when I did that. So I'm gonna try to pick some of this purple back up. Fix that. Put some of that in there. Okay. I'm gonna try to vary this color up here a little bit. Okay. I killed a lot of the intense blue I had in there. I kind of wanted some of that. I'm gonna put some of that back in. Just sort of abstract, like, you know, like that. Okay. Now I need to think. Let's see what next. I think still thinking. Stand by. Another Princeton poly tip. Decided there shall be the moon. sort of biffed him. But you'll never know. Once I use my special blending to hide the fact that I've biffed him. That yellow is a little too intense. I put in there. It's really way too intense. Pull some of him out of there. Be gone, yellow. So just put some white on top of him. That's the ugliest moon I ever painted. Maybe. Alright, that ain't too bad. Alright, that's that. Now it's time to do some beautiful reflections, I think. Some beautiful reflections. I think I need to get rid of that yellow in there. It's fighting me. I didn't, with regular acrylic paints, it wouldn't still be wet, but it's still wet. So I'm just like blending it around and not like killing it. I don't want it there anymore. I want it to go away. It doesn't want to go away. It wants to stay there and haunt me. Maybe this painting is just going to have like a yellow horizon for some reason. Just might be how it is. It's too dark. All right. Let's get some purple in there. I think I actually want it to be more pink. I think I want some kind of saturated reds in there just to play. So I think that'll be interesting. More red. I'm telling you, this red is weak. That's not my imagination. That red, that's a wimpy red. That's my only complaint so far. I gotta complain about something. I'm complaining that that is a wimpy red. Maybe from now on I need to try their cadmium red. Because their alizarin crimson, it just ain't doing it for me. It just ain't. Okay, let's see what we want to do now. I think we gotta get some blue in there now. Gotta get the blue in there. So I'm gonna wipe my brush off here. We're gonna start with some pretty desaturated blue. Clean off my other brush, it's just sitting in my hand here. Let's get some blue. One thing I'll say about this painting that's been sort of nice to showcase is how much you can do with not a lot of tools. I mean, right here, we got 4 colors. And I've been using basically one brush. I mean, I put the moon in with the other brush, but come on, I could have done that with this brush. So that's a good testament to, you know, it's not you don't need fancy tools. I think in a lot of ways, this has been very easy for me, only having 4 choices for colors. Sometimes color mixing can get kind of confusing. You don't know what to do because you want to bump it one way or another way. But this has been pretty straightforward. I can only go one of 4 ways. I can either put blue in it, yellow, red, or white. That's all I can do. So it's been kind of nice that way. This paint is still a little bit wet, so I'm trying to use it. Trying not to kill my broken colors here. Just trying to fill in the bits I didn't get. I think I'm going to put some purples in there too. Okay. Now I need to put some saturated blue in there. Get a little bit more water on my brush so I can mix a little easier. Okay, gonna get some of that in there. No, it's too much. It's too dark, I think. I'm gonna throw some white in there. Okay, I'm gonna throw some purples in there now. Pretty dark purples, I think. Say dark purple, and then I throw a bunch of white in it accidentally. Let's see what we got now. Trying to get some purple in there. All right. There's now purple in there. All right, now I want to do some of that moon reflection. And that's going to be some pretty saturated oranges. I'm actually really kind of worried about this bit because I didn't leave any canvas in there, so I'm going to be painting on top of other paint. This golden open stuff is still wet. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out how this goes as I fight this obnoxiously unpigmented red. Just got to put a whole bunch of it in there. It's just turned like brown. Red is killing me. It's just brown. Let's put some white in there. These colors be fighting me. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of that in there. See what I think. Trying to like desaturate the red as little as possible because I want some warm stuff in there, but this alizarin crimson is just killing me. I want some kind of warm bits in there. All right, throw some other. There's too much red in my brush. And I'll wash that brush up a little bit. I'm going to put some sparkly bits in the water because you got to do that. Sorry, I saw some white poking through. Can't be having that. There's some white poking through in the clouds too. I'm not quite done touching them yet. They're gonna be they're gonna get moved here. I'm gonna try to be not very liberal with this. very conservative. Say that, and then I just put it everywhere. All right, that exists. Let me think what I want to do next. Let me try doing some of this. Trying to alter the color around the moon to give it a little bit of like glow. I'm gonna throw some. I'll try to keep it more white so it's not turning the sky green. The sky's a little green in this one, which, you know, I actually don't mind. Some people, that's like their bane, is having a little bit of green in the sky. I'm not really that person. Don't bother me that much. A little bit of red in the sky ain't never, or a little bit of green in the sky. It didn't hurt nobody. Plus, if you have problems with there being too much green in your sky, put some blue in there. These are pretty tacked up now. It's the paint's a lot more dry. Just trying to add some kind of abstract looking clouds and stuff around. Because I can. I think I want to add some red. And white. And try and put that around the moon. And I'm gonna wipe some of that off on my brush so I'm not too heavy-handed with it. Just kind of blend in some of that in there. This is really nice. I mean, this is like unheard of for me with acrylics, being able to like alter the colors on the canvas while they're wet. It's crazy. Oh, I wrecked the moon. Disaster. Gonna have to do a rescue operation on that moon here in a second. I'm feeling better about the purple in there now, though. Alright, let me fix the moon. Since I biffed him. Just cleaning my brush off good so I don't end up with any blue in my moon. And maybe I'll fix him with this brush, since before I was talking about how you can do anything with one brush. Guess we'll put that to the test. I think I can still use this paint here. Look at that. Like it never happened. Kind of thinking, I don't know, I liked it better the way it was. Alright, let me stand up for a second and take a look at it. So I can determine whether or not I hate it. Definitely don't hate it. But helps to take a look at it from a distance, so I'm gonna do that. Just blending. Eh, I think it's time to stop touching it. I think it's time to stop touching it. That was fun. It was a good time. Let's get the close-up shot going here. Just washing my brushes off here. All right, this thing is actually still really wet, which is crazy. There she is. Not a bad little painting. Definitely not the best one, but it was good fun. One thing I'm noticing about it is that it's a little bit homogeneous. Seems like I should. It's all very purple. Maybe I'm gonna try and vary it up a little bit by adding some more saturated blue around. Whoa. A little overzealous there. Alright, I'm feeling a little bit better about that. I kind of gave it a bit of a vignette. Maybe I'll do some of that on the bottom too. It's kind of a subtle one. A vignette is when the sort of the corners are darker than the middle. It's almost a hack, really, for composition. Because it sort of naturally makes your eyes draw to the center of the painting. And that's kind of the only rule with composition that I've ever heard that I really agreed with was you want the painting to draw your eyes into it. And there's some exceptions to that, but that's generally the goal. But I mean, it's sort of an obvious, like, yeah, if the painting's good, it's going to draw your eye to it. So that basically doesn't mean anything. But really what they mean is you want the person to have something to look at. Whoever's looking at the painting, they want something to look at. So in this painting, it felt like the whole thing was kind of, it was all purple. So it was just like sort of, it wasn't drawing my eye in. It was sort of, I looked at it and I just saw purple. But now with the vignette a little bit, I think it's kind of focused on the middle of the painting a little bit more. I think this one's done. All right. That's all we're doing. Clean my brush off. I definitely feel a lot better about that after I added that blue around. It's probably a personal preference thing. Maybe there was somebody out there that I just ruined the painting for them. They liked the fact that it was very purple. That's okay. All right, one last look. That's what we got.